Bear down, Chicago Bears. We've got a statement from Justin Fields. He's broken his silence after the trade from Chicago to the Steelers. So I'm going to read that for you. And this is not the farewell post that he made. This is nothing like that. He was interviewed and he was really kind of asked about it. And he had some pointed things that he wanted to say. Then we have Chase Daniels really kind of talking about what he really thinks of what the trade was, what the where's the value, et cetera, et cetera. We're gonna revisit some of that. I said we're not going to talk about Justin Fields too much anymore, but when he makes a statement and we get some follow up to it, then we are of course going to cover it. And then we've got today. If you are interested, at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today on NFL Plus, you are going to be able to watch Caleb Williams Pro Day. So if you're interested, certainly go check it out. Then we're going to check the salary cap for the Chicago Bears and see, is there anything else that we can do? Is there anybody else we can sign? Spoiler alert, we're flat broke, baby. We got no money left except for free agency money and the money that we need to take into the season going forward. I mean, we're like strapped for cash. It's absolutely crazy. If you like this type of content, make sure that you hit the like button on the way in. The subscribe button, the bell to be notified certainly helps me out. We get upwards of 20,000 people watching some of these videos, only 3,000 subscribers. So if you haven't and you're considering it, hit the subscribe button. If you don't like the fact that I'm not telling everybody what a horrible person Ryan Poles is, and because of Justin Fields, look, we got to move on. There's just no, we can hate what happened and absolutely really can hate what happened. But at the end of this, I mean, we can't control it and we can't do anything about it. We are where we don't have any options here. You don't like what happened. That's fair. You cannot like what happened because I don't either. However, there's no circumstance in which, as the GM, I'm going to be able to do like anything about it. So, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what to say. Lord Crimson, by the way, if you would please, I'm going to turn you into a moderator right now. You'll be the only moderator in the chat. So if you would, if anything gets out of hand, if there's anything that you want to do, then you're in control for the moment. So here's the thing. We do have some, we do have some, I want to say we're not in horrible straits. We're not in horrible straits. So we should recognize that we're not, this team is going to be fantastic. Okay. This team is going to be fantastic. And I watched some of, I watched some of you guys. I watched Chase Daniels last night. I love Chase Daniels, by the way. I like the way I think he's a little bit of a maxi on everybody. He tries to, he's one of those guys that tries to point out the positives on people and tries to shy away from the negatives. But he had a pretty good analysis and breakdown. If you didn't watch it, go watch his breakdown on Caleb Williams. And he was starting with his best and worst performances. And he was kind of showing you, what is his reads? What is his progressions? What do they look like when he's having a good game versus when he's having a bad game, when he's forcing things and stuff like that? And, it's a fair assessment. So it's certainly intriguing. You should check it out if you haven't already. But let's kick it off and let's start with Justin Fields has now broken his silence in so much as there was silence. Justin, not a big media guy, not somebody who's looking for all of the quote unquote exposure, if you will, that goes with, whatever everybody else likes. He's the opposite. I guess it's safe to say that he's kind of the opposite of Caleb. You know what I mean? Caleb is a media sensation. Justin's a very quiet, not shy necessarily, but a shy-er type, if you will. So Justin Fields breaks his silence on the trade. It says, In a recent interview with First Down magazine, Fields opened up about his trade from the Bears to the Pittsburgh Steelers on March 16 and offered some emotional parting words for the fans who supported him in Chicago as well as his teammates. And let's pull it up on the screen, I guess. Let's we're going to stop one here. We're going to present this different one. Rahur. All right. So the city of Chicago, my teammates, they know I love them. Field said from Milan, Italy, where he co-hosted a football camp with Christian Wilkins on March 15. From day one, I've loved them and my teammates. I've built relationships that will last a lifetime. Just grateful for them, grateful for the fans sticking behind us. Good season, bad season, good games, bad games. You know, they've always showed up no matter the weather. If it's cold outside, they're showing up and cheering us on. All my teammates, they're my brothers. They already know my love for them. Several of Fields' teammates spoke out in the wake of the Bears trading him. Star wide receiver DJ Moore wrote a message saying business is business. Other like Shaquan Brisker seemed to take things very hard, said, don't talk to me. I was planning to hit the city. This is from Cole Kmet. I was planning to hit the city and go out, but then I got a call from Flus and the people with the Bears and decided to stay in after the news with Justin. Obviously, really upsetting that it came to this and where it was at that moment, but you kind of felt like the writing was on the wall with that. Fields is no longer the Bears' choice, but now we move on to Caleb Williams. Now, with that being the case, let's go look now at another thing that happened, and this was some comments made by Chase Daniel. Chase Daniel, you guys know, again, if I would promote, I would promote him if I could. And Greg, I led this off. I led this off with I told you I wasn't going to talk about Justin Fields, but he did issue a statement, so we're going to read the statement. And then Chase Daniel shares his candid thoughts on Justin Fields and the Caleb Williams trade. And I think this one kind of helps right here. It says, if you put the pieces that you're putting around the number one pick around Justin, I feel like he would have gotten even better. He got a lot more comfortable in the pocket. He processed things at a much higher rate. He won over the locker room and he won over the city. So, he's feeling, and Daniels asked, why could you not have held on to him maybe a few more months? I understand your franchise and your job is trying to take care of a player in Justin Fields and put him in the right position. But if you hold on to him in training camp, maybe preseason week 2 or 3, then there were 13, 14 different starters who got hurt last year. Your trade value immensely rises. Now, that would be a difficult situation. I don't think that the Bears are going to be able to hold on to Justin Fields for any length of time. But he had a pretty good take. I do think the pieces around him are probably the best he's had in terms of a number one pick going to a team in the last decade. Talking now about Caleb Williams, saying that this to me, in terms of players surrounding him, staff and defense, this is easily the top. So he better play good, and you better play good right away. So, and by the way, I not for nothing, I got a sense here, Caleb Williams probably going to play pretty good, like right away. I don't think that there's anything to wait for. I don't think that there's any real look. Caleb Williams is not concerned about what he's doing. You know what I mean? And by the way, it's at 1:30 p.m. Eastern time today on NFL Plus. I think I said 12:30 earlier. It's going to actually be at 1:30. So if you want to check this out, then it's right here. Watch Caleb Williams Pro Day at NFL Plus. So let's kick it off with, what do you think he's going to look like? Leave me a comment in the comment section. What do you think Caleb Williams is going to look like today? Do you think like he's going to have that star moment? Do you think that he's going to be balling out? I mean, first of all, when you're at your pro day, the number one thing about it is you're probably going to show only your best skills. You're most likely not going to do the things that you're not comfortable with. Problem is Caleb Williams comfortable, I guess, with everything. Like he doesn't seem to really have a real weak spot when it comes to throwing the ball. He throws from the top, he throws from the side, he's got great arm motion. He does have a great sense for the pocket, and he's got the ability to scramble. Is he Justin Fields? Not even close when it comes to scrambling, but that doesn't mean that he's not good. I mean, there's very few people that have the talent for elusiveness that Justin Fields has. In fact, a lot of talk around the league before all this stuff played out was that Justin Fields was a better runner now than Lamar Jackson. If that's the case, then that's a big move. Iron Safe says, I seriously have my doubts about Poles now. I totally don't understand how you're building for long term. He just blew it. So let me just say that I think that, I mean, let's all right. That's not true. That's not true. Let's talk salary cap, and then actually we'll be covering that because that's an important part of it. But I mean, this is what the salary cap looks like right now. And let's break down what the Bears salary cap really looks like right now. Montez Sweat's getting 25 million, Keenan Allen 23 million, Tremaine Edmonds. By the way, Keenan Allen, this is the last year of his contract, so he's on a 1-year rental basically. But you've got Tremaine Edmonds at 22 million, DJ Moore at 16, Jalen Johnson at 13, Cole Kmet at 11, Nate Davis at 11, DeMarcus Walker at 8.6, TJ Edwards 7.5, going on down. Kevin Byard 6.4. A lot of these guys are rentals. This is win now. Gerald Everett at 5 million. I think you've really got. I think you've really got probably overpaid for wide receiver. We can't pay for another wide receiver, which is why, it would have been great to get a quality, like a Marvin Harrison Jr. Like imagine being able to have that as your bookend. It's most probably not going to be that way. But, at the 9 pick, you still might have somebody, Roma Dunze or somebody like that. So it's not out of the way that something like that can happen, right? But as far as this roster is really kind of good. There is some depth issues. There's going to continue to be some depth issues. Like we're not completely done. But here's the thing. When you come down here, there's only $23 million in cap space available. Now, if you consider with the number 1 pick, $9 million immediately goes to Caleb Williams. Now you're managing on a budget. So let's say that instead, by the way, instead of what we were looking at before, how did I draw that in the wrong spot? There, let's try that one more time. Did I move that around? Anyway, $23.8 million or $23.5 million is all you have left. But let's say you're taking $8 million into the season in case you need to bring in somebody in free agency, right? You're going to do that. So that leaves you $15 million in order to draft with. 9 of that is going to the number 1 overall pick, Caleb Williams. It moved itself, son of a bitch. Anyway, it's giving you 9 million to Caleb Williams, and then the rest of it. I mean, if you can get the rest of it for under $6 million, the rest of that haul, if you will, for under $6 million, which would include, by the way, trading down a lot. Let's take a quick look at the salary slots for 2024. Boom. And this is from February. Yeah. Okay. So, well, that's not annual. God damn it. Why do these people do this shit? Yeah, so what they're doing is they're giving you like an estimated. God damn it! Why do these people do this shit? Because it sounds like more is why they do it. But you're looking at 41 million over 4 years, so basically about $10 million is going into Caleb. Then from there, I guess I'll show you guys right here. This is by round, what we're looking at right here. And you can see right here, from the first round, we're looking at 12 million to 38.5. So you're looking basically at 9.5 million. I want to say 9.7 million for the number 1 pick because it's a 4-year contract, right? With a team option for the 5th year. And then 12.1 for that final selection. So 3 million at the bottom of the first round. So if you're moving your way down from 9 million to 3 million, that's pretty much the wage scale. And then starting in the second round, that goes down to 2.5 million, all the way down to 1.5 million in the second round. So, the wage scale starts to go down. So if you do what we're talking about in this draft right here, then, I'm in under the wire, by the way. I think mine's going to come in at under $15 million. So we're going to have plenty of money to again, 8 million, but we only used 5 last year to take into it. So it's at 23 million. That's the big deal. So can we do something with that level of cap space? I mean, that's really the question. So here's the other part to it. And I wanted to point out, we do have some holes and we do have some places where we could obviously improve, right? The depth chart, like we did this one yesterday. I told you guys, I'm running it 2 tight end instead of 2 receiver, 2 tight end, because Tyler Scott as the third guy, I think that's going to be the thing right there. For the moment, we're plugging in Caleb Williams. Next week, by the way, we're going to do this with Caleb for a few days, and we're going to check out and see if, are there some better options? Because today we're going to know from his pro day, we will get a real sense of what the Chicago Bears really think about Caleb Williams today. We're going to know a lot about Justin, a lot about Caleb after today. So, let's give it the opportunity today to see, what it looks like. After we figure out what it looks like, then, we'll kind of move on from there. And if it looks like Caleb is a lock at that point, and I really have no reason to think that he's not, but if it looks like Caleb is a lock, then we're going to stick with that. If it doesn't look like he's a lock and it looks like there's something wrong there that the Bears are not liking, then we're going to be looking at, what do the other options look like? I mean, that's Jaden Daniels, right? People can tell you Drake May all day long. Matter of fact, I think Chase Daniels said the other day, he was doing the analysis. He's like, don't look at the 2023 footage, look at the 2022 footage, and you can see how he balled out. But you should look at the 23 footage, and he didn't have as good a team, but neither did Caleb. And we're not doing that over Caleb, right? We're looking at Caleb and seeing he makes all the plays. So I have concerns there. Jaden Daniels, however, don't seem to be any concerns, or at least fewer concerns. By the way, make sure you hit the like button on your way in. Helps push me up in the algorithm. And I appreciate that so much. It doesn't cost you anything to just make that move. Caleb, Fat Man, we can't say that yet. We got to wait for him to get drafted. Then we'll start talking about it. And I don't think that he's him. I think he's super tough for us to kind of throw other, try to throw other things on here for him. But so this is what the roster is going to look like anticipating on opening day. And we have no more money for new free agents. And that kind of represented a problem in my eyes. However, I mean, what are we supposed to do at this point? Did we get our center? No. Can we get a center in the draft? Yes. What does it look like right now? I mean, let me give you an example here. This is what the center market looks like right now. Connor Williams is still out there available it probably has a good market value. We can't afford him. Cody Whitehair is still out there. And of course, we're not going to bring him back, but we have Brian Allen. We have Mason Cole. You have guys out here who are centers in the league who are still looking for teams. Chief among them is Connor Williams. So there could have been some possibility with Connor Williams. There's a reason that he's not signed, by the way. There is a reason, and I don't know what that reason is. Maybe he's not healthy. Maybe he doesn't check out. Maybe there's something missing right now that we don't know about. So it could be that, we don't have any clarity on Connor Williams. So, I mean, what are you gonna do, right? So we'll maybe have to draft somebody, and we could actually do that. I'll show you how we can draft somebody. We're not going to get Jackson Powers Johnson, by the way, and fix the problems with the line, right? Yes, Connor is coming off an injury. He can't do a physical. He did have an ACL season ending. However, that doesn't mean that he can't be signed. Not all teams are going to require that physical. He can still be signed as a future prospect. But I think, market value wise, we would probably look for something. But I mean, other than that, we've got, Coleman Shelton. Here's the thing. There's going to be centers available next year. We're going to have more people that are available. If we whiff on something here, then, we can always continue building. But here's the thing. With this roster, I think we're a playoff team. The place where we have issues, defensive roster. So for the edge rusher, I continue to leave that question mark there, even though it's being said that it's DeMarcus Walker. I get the sense that that's not going to be it. Now, Demarcus Walker does make us, excuse me, one of the top rushing defenses. So, I don't mean to be disrespectful when I don't put him in the lineup. I just don't think that this is going to happen. I just don't think so. I think that the best move here is to just leave that open for the moment. And, Jared Verse, maybe like he becomes the guy. I mean, who's your edge rusher? If you had to pick an edge rusher, let me know in the chat. If you had an edge rusher that you had to pick in this draft, who are you going to pick? Like, who do you guys think is going to be the man? I'm going to pull it up here real quick. You can look at what the defenders look like. And I mean, for me, it's going to be Jared Verse. No questions asked. I look at Dallas Turner. I saw what Dallas Turner did. I look at Latu. I look at Chris Braswell. I look at Chop Robinson. I look at Darius Robinson. But I mean, who is that edge rusher? And then who is that guy that we can get? That's the question right now. So here we have it. Number one in this draft is Dallas Turner. Although he can continue to improve as a run defender and a tackler, he's a first-round type of edge rusher with a high ceiling, pass rush traits who can contribute in year one with a bright future. Jared Verse doesn't have the longest arms, and that shows in some pass rush counters and in tackling, but he brings his hard hat and lunch pail to every snap. Winning with strength regularly is built like a first-rounder. Latu overall, though somewhat limited athletically, his home is in the offensive backfield due to his hand usage and pass rush moves that will continue to win at the NFL level. Then you have Chris Braswell at Alabama. Even if he doesn't become a pass rushing technician, his power, speed, and length present a rotational role as a floor and an impact starting ceiling. Chop Robinson, regardless of his lack of polish, Robinson is a gifted player athletically, likely on every level. We got my crypto journey in the house. Bear down, my man. A lot of what leaves you wanting. By the way, guys, if you don't know, well, I guess you don't know, but I do crypto content, and this is one of my best friends in crypto. That's Rodney. So appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Unlocking that is the key for him to go to a boom or bust athlete, to a dominant edge defender. Then we have Darius Robinson. Now, you guys know that Darius Robinson is my guy in the event we have to move into the second round. Darius Robinson is a powerful lineman who can line up anywhere from 0 to a 7 technique. He won't win with speed much at the next level, but he certainly can with power. His strength profile projects to a rotational role as a floor with starting potential if he continue to hone in on his pass rush plans. This doesn't improve our pass rushing scheme by too much over DeMarcus Walker, maybe nominally, but potentially. And guys, by the way, if you haven't already, consider becoming a member of the channel like my man Rodney. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. So then we get down into later levels, and we've got Adisa Isaac. I think that this guy's a potential, we picked him up in the draft a couple of times. Then we've got Jonah Ellis, Marshawn Nealon, and then Braylon Trice coming down the board a little bit more. So these are the guys that we're going to have to choose from. And I keep getting Dallas Turner. I keep going after and getting Dallas Turner, even though it's a stretch every single time I do it. I do end up with either Dallas Turner or Jared Verse every single time on my draft. I think today I went with, yesterday I think I went with Dallas Turner. Today I think I went with Jared Verse. I don't remember exactly yet, but that fixes some of this problem. Now we do have depth issues. The depth issues continue to be on the offensive line and on the defensive line. So even if we get our guy, even if we get, for example, a Dallas Turner, if we go out and by the way, it should be noted that we have the number 1 and the number 9 pick. If you just say to yourself, well, you know what, maybe there's some kind of problem here. Maybe we gotta, maybe we'll build a little bit down. With the last 2 picks, we'll just one lineman on each side, maybe, or something like that. I mean, you can look at it that way. But if you pick at number 1, Caleb Williams, assuming that he's going to be the guy for your draft, at this point, we have no reason to think that it's going to be otherwise. So Caleb Williams as your first pick, and then with your 9 pick, instead of trading down and picking up more draft picks, which I do think that we need, but you know what I mean? Like, fuck the Chargers. Jesus Christ, man. Oh, God damn it, the Chargers. Whatever, man. And by the way, we love Gerald Everett. So I mean, we're big fans right now. We got Keenan Allen, we got Gerald Everett, so we're big fans of the Chargers for the moment. Thank you for the trades, guys. Appreciate you being fleeced or whatever it was that we did to get you. But anyway, if you take number 1, Caleb Williams, you assume that that's just going to be the guy, and then you move on. And then at number 9, instead of trading down, you take Dallas Turner or Jared Verse, either one of those. Then I think you've solved the defensive end position, not the depth portion, but that's where DeMarcus Walker comes into play. Again, he's rotational. So on obvious running downs, you got DeMarcus Walker. On obvious passing downs, you got Dallas Turner or Jared Verse. So there we go. And by the way, Alex says, hearing a lot of smoke of neighbors going over MHJ. I see that all the time too. In fact, I saw somebody say Roma Dunze is now better than Marvin Harrison. You know, these guys are out here trying to pump their bags, if you will. They're just trying to find some new person. And we're going to do that until the draft. Until the draft, we're going to find new ways to say, well, this person's better. We're going to have the pro day today for Caleb Williams, and we'll have some ideas. We'll have some ideas about, you know, what that looks like. But, you know, generally speaking, and look, there are, first of all, here's what you should consider. Even if I'm hedging on that and I'm saying that Malik Neighbors could be taken over Marvin Harrison Jr., Marvin Harrison Jr. is the talent of the draft. The guy is, no matter what, he's still 6'4", 205 pounds. He is bigger and stronger than all these other guys that we're talking about. We're talking about the NFL. We're not talking about college football anymore. We're talking about the NFL. He's ready for the NFL level. He has the size, he has the speed, he has the reach of all of these. 6'4". Neighbors is not. Neighbors is 6'1". There's a difference, right? Not a tremendous difference, by the way. I would take Marvin Harrison Jr. because of not just the potential, not just because of the work ethic of his father, which I'm sure rubbed off onto him, which everybody talks about. Marvin Harrison is just bigger and stronger than everybody else. However, here's the thing. We're splitting hairs at this point because I think Malik Neighbors had every bit this season that Marvin Harrison Jr. had. So it's very difficult for me to say that one of them is better. I see the work ethic of Marvin Harrison. I see Marvin Harrison Jr. with the same work ethic. I know what Marvin Harrison did. He's a Hall of Famer. I know that he was one of the greatest receivers of all time. I know these things. And I see his son is a bigger version of him. And you can still go back and look at Malik Neighbors and say, God damn. You know what I mean? You can still look at Roma Dunze and you can go, God damn. This is a deep wide receiver draft. And by the way, when we're talking about this, we haven't even mentioned Keon Coleman. Like, we have some really, really good. Roman Wilson. Could you imagine getting Roman Wilson in the slot at the number 75 pick, which is possible, by the way? Could you imagine getting the starting best player for the national champion Michigan Wolverines? And God, it's disgusting from when I say that. Like, ugh, leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Like, gross. You know, when I say that about Michigan being national championships. I have a friend, by the way. I used to bodybuild, for those of you who don't know. And I had a friend that I used to do like Olympic lifts with, and he was a big time Michigan fan. Insufferable. Those pricks, insufferable pricks, every single one of them. But could you imagine getting Roman Wilson into that slot? There you go. You have Brendan Rice. Like, there are some really, really strong wide receivers. And again, and one of my underrated guys, which, by the way, we're not going deep in the draft to get wide receivers. I don't think so anyway. If we do, it would be like Roman, it'd be Roman Wilson. But Jamari Thrash out of Louisville, before he got injured and before he messed his wrist up or his hand up and broke his finger, that guy was catching everything thrown his way. There are guys out there, big, tall, rangy guys who are going to be NFL good. You know what I mean? So Winstraw good. Yeah. Yeah. Winstraw good. Winstraw great, actually. So that's what the roster looks like, right? We'll fill it in with defensive edge rusher at some point. And by the way, Crypto Journey says Chargers got absolutely fleeced. You can take the Chargers out of San Diego, but you can't take the San Diego out of the Chargers. Yeah. Well, and you know what? I mean, here's the thing. Like, you gotta ask there you go. There are so many good wide receivers in this NFL draft. By the way, if you look at this wide receiver ranking, let's pull it up. I mean, like it's wild how talented this is. And you're gonna know these names, and you've seen just fantastic plays from these guys if you watch any college football. You're talking about Marvin Harrison Jr., 6'4", 205. Malik Neighbors, 6 foot 200. Roma Dunze, 6'3", 215. Brian Thomas, 6'4", 205. Lad McConkey, 6', 185. And by the way, Lad McConkey, we would be lucky to get him as a slot receiver. He's that kind of rough and tough sort of guy who likes to go across the middle and do that wild shit that like, remember how New England always had that slot receiver, that little scrappy dude who's just going across the middle, getting wrecked and doing that shit. Lad McConkey is that guy. Adonai Mitchell, 6'4", 196. Xavier Worthy. Now, Xavier, even though he was the fastest man in the history of the combine, he's still a little small, 172 pounds. He is going to get mauled in the NFL. Now, and by the way, we're not splitting hairs over 205 to 200 or to 215. We're just saying that Marvin Harrison's bigger, has the bigger reach. He's the guy. And by the way, if you look at like Roma Dunze, some of these guys, they're comparable. You know what I'm saying? Like, all I'm saying is they're comparable. And look at this: Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. The number 2 and the number 4 ranking wise receivers, both coming out of LSU. Did that make Jaden Daniels look even better? I don't know. But keep going here. Keon Coleman, 6'4", 215. Javon Baker was great, 6'1", 208. Troy Franklin, 6'3", 187. Again, you got concerns about the size here. You want these guys to bulk up. Jalen Polk was actually really good. 6'2", 204. Jalen McMillan, 6'1", 192. Malachi Corey, Aina Smith, Xavier Legette, Jermaine Burton, Malik Washington, Jacob Cowing. Roman Wilson falls down here at 6 foot 192. Again, this is my guy where I say that, Roman Wilson would be a big pickup for anybody. He's a senior. He's only 6 foot 192, but again, that's a slot receiver sort of position. Then you have Devontae Walker. There's a good list of people here. Like, this is a very strong wide receiver draft. Like, I mean, crazy strong. So yeah, I think that we're going to see. I don't think that we're going to take one, by the way. Until later on. But I mean, and that's just the thing. You keep going down this draft and you just find monsters at wide receiver. You don't find that in every position this year. But you do find it overall. You know what I mean? So let's talk about mock draft here. So what I did in my mock draft today was I again stuck with Caleb, but I did some trading down, and what I came up with was I traded down to the 19, and I got a few more selections. So instead of 4 selections, I ended up with 7 overall. With those 7 selections, at number 1, I took Caleb Williams. At number 19, I took Jared Verse. Guys, look, I'm not telling you that Jared Verse is the best guy. I'm telling you, I like what I saw from him. I think that he's got the talent for all of it, and I think that he's just a fantastic athlete. So at number 19, by the way, at this point, I just got to tell you, because I didn't want to say this at first because I thought you guys are going to laugh at me if I did this. At number 19, at number 19. I took Jared Verse, but Dallas Turner was also still available at number 19. Okay, so just so you guys know, I was about to pretend like Dallas Turner had just been snapped up as quickly as he possibly could. You know what I mean? Like I just so anyway, we got Caleb Williams, then we got Jared Verse, and then we moved down at number 60. We get Ruka Roro. I do want to shore up my offensive line, by the way. However, the people that we actually have some depth at this offensive line for the Bears that we're going to have to build. And this is going to be a longer term project. There's nothing that can be done at this point that's going to look, this team is going to be vastly superior. And that's no offense to Justin Fields. That's the people around him are going to be vastly superior for the next quarterback. So it's the question is getting the best guys at every position, and it just can't be done right now. It just can't be done right now. So, well, the defensive line is not deep at this point. Defensive tackles, we only have 3 on the roster. So we don't have a rotation yet. So we got to go get somebody like a Rukaroro or somebody. I took 3 because I told you I think that the defensive tackle room has got to be replenished because we do not have enough depth at that position specifically. On an edge rusher, by the way, we have 4 edge rushers. So I think we're fine there and could use dropping Dominic Robinson at the first opportunity. So Jared Verse comes in, DeMarcus Walker, and they become the rotation. Dominic Robinson is gone at that point. So I think we're actually better by proxy from that. So Jared Verse, then we have Rukaroro, then we have Leonard Taylor, and then I took Cade Stover at tight end, remembering I think Gerald Everett we only have for short. Like most of these guys are rentals. You know what I mean? Like we're just renting guys right now to win right now. Coleman Shelton is on a single-year contract. I know we say we're signing Keenan Allen, or at least we're alluding to Keenan Allen over a longer term, but I don't know that that's true. I don't think that that's true. That's $20-something million. Didn't we look at that before? It's like we're paying him $23 million. There's no way. Like, there's just no way. Like, come on. I mean, if he takes a slight pay cut, what if he's getting paid the same amount as maybe DJ Moore and we're saving a little bit of payroll, or if the NFL salary cap spikes a lot while he's under contract, then we're good to go. But otherwise, I just don't I don't see it. So this is a win now team. Okay. And everybody's got to be healthy, by the way. Everybody's going to have to stay healthy. But then at number 122, I took Mekhi Wingo, LSU. I'm an LSU maxi for some reason. I just keep looking at LSU, and I love the team that they came up with. I love the team that they have here, and they brought in some monsters to play on this team. And then Layden Robinson, offensive guard out of Texas A&M. And by the way, just to give you an idea here, at number 60, I had the number 52 pick on this trade, and I got I had an opportunity to take Zach Frazier, and then I was like, you know what, let me take a shot here and see if I can move down because it got me an extra draft pick. So then I moved down to 60 from 52, and then that lost me Zach Frazier. And then I wanted to stay away from Cedric Van Pran, by the way, went earlier than Zach Frazier in this last draft. And then I wasn't able to I didn't want to get God damn it, I can't remember the kid from Wisconsin, the one with the short arms, Bartling. I didn't want to get him, and then I didn't want to go down and get Bo Limmer because Bo Limmer was available at number 122. But I don't think that's, you know what I mean. Like I don't think that I don't think we're better served by having a fourth or fourth round center. I would have liked to have had it in a better position, and maybe the draft is going to be better for the next year. So that's my draft. That's what I did, and that's the way that it worked out. And now let's do one live. Let's add it to the stage. All right, so guys, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do we're gonna do a 4. We're not gonna trade. We're not gonna do anything. This is what a draft would look like if we had the number 1 and we rejected everything. This is like the best we could get. Number 1 would be Caleb Williams. Obviously, that's the guy that we're going for in the draft, right? And we're going to reject all of the trades that we get. And number 9, at this point now, here's the question that you have to ask yourself at this point. Olu Fashanu, the offensive tackle out of Penn State, Brock Bowers. Remember, most of these guys are on rental. So Olu Fashanu, the offensive tackle out of Penn State, is available. We have Brock Bowers available. We have Dallas Turner. We have Luwatu Latu, and we have Talise Fuaga. And then we don't have a pick again until number 75. So I think this pick has to count. And if we don't go for Dallas Turner and we stick with DeMarcus Walker, and I'll put him in, let's make that part of the lineup going forward. You know what I mean? So you could, Nick, you could actually take Brock. But yeah, running a 3 tight end set just to get him into the game is a little bit wild. But it doesn't make very much sense at this point. So the options are in this Olu Fashanu, in case we decide that Braxton Jones is not that guy. and then Dallas Turner at the number 9. Now, it would be my inclination to take Dallas Turner as the best one available at this point, but we've got Lawatu, Talise Fuagwa out of the offensive tackle out of Oregon State. You know what I mean? So let's go with Dallas Turner because we're shoring up that end position. We need that end position. So let's just take we're going to take Dallas Turner because I guess he's the best available player for the position that we need. Hold on one second. Hello. I'm live. All right, buddy. Okay. All right, bye. Sorry, my son. So anyway, and we're going to reject that. Now we're at number 75 and we have to take something. So we've taken we've taken right now Caleb Williams and Dallas Turner. I feel good about that. I mean, I think that we've shored up the positions of basic need. Caleb Williams at quarterback, and then Dallas Turner as the edge rusher. In my opinion, now at this point, we still need a defensive tackle to back up. So I'm going to take Braden Fisk and not Leonard Taylor in this regard because I like Braden Fisk. Okay. But I mean, well, you know what? What do you guys think about that? Here's the thing. If I do center or guard, then let's look at the offensive available. Then I got to go with Christian Mahogany, offensive guard from Boston College, or going down. I don't really have a solid center available. I don't have anybody. There it is, Tanner Bartolini. That's the guy from Wisconsin. So probably not, like I don't know that we have anything here. I mean, Ryan Bates we've got for a little while. Take Brock Dump Komet, who is a blocking liability. I mean, that's possible. But so defense wise, we've got Leonard Taylor. We still have needs here on the defensive line. And I would prefer Braden Fisk over Leonard Taylor, but this is everybody that's available, right? So all right, we'll go Christian Mahogany. All right, we'll take Christian Mahogany. We'll go for the offensive line in that one. Javier, yeah. So for wide receiver 3, I think we're going to run 2 tight end sets. I'll explain that in just a second here. In the 4th position, in this final one, now we have one last opportunity. We're going to take Mekhi Wingo. It's no debate at this point. We need a defensive tackle. So we got 4 guys. This is our draft right here. Caleb Williams, Dallas Turner, Christian Mahogany, and Mekhi Wingo. That's if we don't make any trades whatsoever. What we did was we got our quarterback that we were looking for. We got the edge rusher that we really needed. We got Christian Mahogany, a backup at the guard position, and then we got a defensive tackle backup as well in Mekhi Wingo. So as you can see, we don't have a lot of selection. So trading down is going to be paramount. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be paramount. There's no way. And not a good draft. We got the best quarterback and the best edge rusher in the game right now. So, and by the way, Ramses, what I was doing I was just saying, if we don't make any trades, these are the 4 positions that we've got. This is the best that we can do. You know what I mean? Like, this is where we just kind of get thrown into that sort of pool, if you will. So that's what it would look like if we did that. Not the best. Like, it's to me that, again, this still comes, you know what? Let's just do this. Let's just do it. Okay. What if, let's just say that today it doesn't work out. I told you I wasn't going to do this until next week, but you know what? Let's just try it today. What if, hear me out here. What if we reject this one? What if we reject this one? What if we take that trade with Washington so that they can get Caleb Williams? Would you guys be satisfied with Jaden Daniels? Like, if we did that, now we reject everything else. Now we got the number 2 pick and we have draft picks at this point. What if we reached and we got Jaden Daniels? And yeah, Lord Crimson, I would think that's, I don't think this. And then at the number 9 pick, we've got a couple of offers here. If we can get somebody in this first round, 17 and 48, let's take that. So now we're down to 17. Reject. Now, what do we have? We've got we can get Jared Verse Talise Fawaga, Troy Fatanu, Brian Thomas Jr., Johnny Newton, Jackson Powers Johnson. Let's take Jackson Powers Johnson. Now we've got the center that we've needed all of this time. So now we have the number 36 pick, and we can start to shore up the positions of biggest need, right? Now we've got Darius Robinson as the edge rusher. Now we've got number 40 pick, Zach Frazier. No, we don't need him. Tavondre Sweat, defensive tackle. Now we've got a defensive tackle in the mix. Now we have what do we need? We still need that guy in the what wide receiver could we get at that point? So we can still get Troy Franklin as a possible position player there. So wide receiver Troy Franklin. How about that? This draft is wild already. By the way, I am not comfortable with this draft at all. Chris Jenkins at defensive tackle. I'm taking that. We're going to reject all the trades right there. And then now we're reaching Emma Gaji, the offensive tackle out of Yale. We want to take him. Like, I feel like this is, oh, God damn it. All right. Well, this one made me very uncomfortable at this point, because I mean, Brandon Coleman. So we're taking linemen here because we're trying to fill out needs and strength on the offensive line. But I mean, once we take a few skill positions, it's over. At this point. Now, by the way, I don't want to say that by taking the center that we didn't take a skill. That we're looking at the skill position, but we did take a wide receiver at one point. And I think that's it right there. So we ended up with Jaden Daniels. By trading down, we ended up with 8 picks. Then we got the Washington number 1 and Jacksonville's second round. But we got Jaden Daniels, Jackson Powers Johnson, Darius Robinson, Tavondre Sweat, Troy Franklin, Chris Jenkins, Kieran Amagaji, and then Brandon Coleman. So, I mean, there's options. There's just, I just, and I don't think that, by the way, just so you guys know, there's a difference between what people think about in this draft. There's a difference between what people think about Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels. People think of Caleb Williams as a thrower who can make all the throws, who can check down, who can do the reads, who can go from progression to progression to progression, find the open man, hit the guy in stride, do the things that you need to do in the quarterback position, maneuver around, use pocket presence, and do all of those things. Jaden Daniels checks more like the Lamar Jackson with a strong arm kind of thing, with accuracy, by the way, so far. But I mean, that's basically Justin Fields. That's what we're moving on from. And I don't think that that's a fit. I mean, we just did it in this draft just to show you what it would look like. But I don't think that there's any realistic way for us to look at this and say, really, if you're looking for Jaden Daniels, if you like Justin Fields, I'll put it this way. I think if you like Justin Fields, then you like Jaden Daniels because you like that talent that you saw. And since it's not coming back, you know what I mean? But I mean, if you're looking at the NFL prototype drop back quarterback with the flick of the wrist that makes all the throws, that does all the things that you want to do, that is Caleb Williams in this draft. I mean, it's also Drake May, but come on, goddamn, man, goddamn. I do not see what people see in Drake May, despite the fact that he's a big guy. Look, the big guys with the man, that's not working for a lot of people. You know what I mean? Did we lose Fields because of talent or resetting the quarterback clock? Both. I mean, that's both. Do you know what I'm saying? Was it because of a lack of talent? Well, he has all the talent in the world, but it's not on the field. In the fourth quarter, he only had a 53 quarterback rating. That's a problem. And that's a difficult look. You can love Justin Fields. I love Justin Fields. I would like for him to still be the quarterback. I would take my lumps with Justin Fields and have 2 less wins than with a Caleb Williams led team. I would take that because I think the whole, most of the fan base loves Justin Fields. I mean, he was a man of the, he was Chicago for a period of time. You know what I mean? That's the thing. He represented toughness, grit, determination. He was a phenomenal talent. He had plenty of talent, but he also only 62% completion rate. And that was not great. That was not great. He also took 3.23 seconds to make throws when it should have been in the 2.7 at the high end. He was literally taking almost a half a second more to make throws than other quarterbacks. There are pieces about him that we have to recognize that were a problem. We could see many times over, by the way, and I'm not saying he didn't improve every single year. I didn't say that. I'm not saying that he didn't get better and that I wasn't excited to see more improvement. I thought he was going to continue to improve. I really did. But when you break it down, like there were too many receivers coming out of moves, and Justin was throwing to them when they're open, not throwing them open. Okay, if that makes sense. If a guy's making a turn, if he's making a read, and then he's going to turn, if he's going to do a curl, right? So it goes down and he makes the curl. When he turns to the curl, that ball should be there in his hand. That doesn't mean he's open. And then you take the next piece, which he's only making $6 million this year, but next year, 25.3, I think, is the minimum. We don't even know what the salary cap is, but it's going to go up. So 25.3 is what it would cost for 2025 for Justin Fields. And then you got to pay him between 35 and 50 because the salary cap keeps going up. So he's going to want to be paid like that. So, no matter what, you got Caleb Williams for 4 years right now for $38 million, $9.5 million a year, or whatever it is, 9.3, 9.5. So you got him for under $10 million a year for the next 4 years. Whereas with Justin Fields, you'd be paying $61 million minimum over the next 3 years. So that really, I think, is the basic point right there. And here's the other part, and I think this is important. I don't think the Bears feel like, and I don't think the NFL feels like they're resetting the clock at all with Caleb Williams. Not for talent. I think that they think that Caleb is going to have the ability to command an NFL offense. I'm not sure that. I see, I've been watching more and more videos of Caleb Williams. I see that there's talent there. I just, I still have questions, but some of my questions are because I really like Justin Fields. I thought that Justin Fields was going to be that guy. So, maybe I'm biased about it. You know what I mean? So, fundamentally, is there anything wrong with Caleb Williams fundamentally? Hell no. There's nothing wrong with Caleb Williams fundamentally. It's the mental makeup of the quarterback now that's called into question. It's, can he perform in the fourth quarter? Can he make the plays when he needs to make the plays? Can he continue to move the ball? Can he not make mistakes? Can he be that guy? And, by all accounts, the only people that have questions about that right now, I think, in my opinion, are people like me who are former big Justin Fields fans. Like like I said before, guys, I would love to see Justin. I would love to see us continue to have those guys, if you will. I would love to see if we still had Justin. Look. Let me just say that I don't like the move, but it is the move, and we need to embrace. We need to embrace Caleb Williams if Caleb Williams is the guy. If Jaden Daniels is the guy, we need to embrace Jaden Daniels if he is the guy. I don't see a scenario in which the Bears are going to draft down. Okay, and you have to look at the entirety of it. So let's go Caleb Williams. You know what I mean? Like, put your Superman cape on and prove us, and prove these guys right. And here's the thing. I love Justin Fields. And by the way, I like Pamela says right here, I love Justin Fields. However, he can't throw. Well, he can throw. He just didn't throw very well here because I don't think the offense was built around his strengths. Which, by the way, he can pass the ball. I can go back to college and I can look at him being well coached and I can see him making the throws. I can look at him having solid receivers around him and seeing that he can make the plays. I know that he's much more talented than what we saw on the field, or we didn't see enough of it on the field. I know those things. But I mean, I'll tell you what, 10 years from now, even if we won a couple of Super Bowls, even if we win a couple of Super Bowls, uh, some of us are going to look back and say, man, what could have been with Justin Fields? And by the way, Justin Fields might not even be in the league for all we know. You know what I mean? It wasn't Justin Fields' ability to throw. Justin Fields had a higher completion percentage in college than Caleb Williams. It's how he moved into the NFL and who he had surrounding him that created a problem. Now, if it gets fixed, he might be a really good quarterback. But if it doesn't get fixed, and if these habits now are too much, if there's too many problems in the way that he plays now, then, I mean, he might be gone before long. You know what I mean? I'm going to tell you, the guy who was the ultimate winner for me was Tim Tebow. I mean, he was the ultimate winner. It didn't matter if he really wasn't a good quarterback. You know what I mean? Like he really wasn't a good quarterback. Everybody could see that portion. He could make a few throws, but he won games. He found ways to win. You know what I mean? Justin didn't do that, and that's the difference. Tim Tebow was a winner and basically willed teams to victory. This is the stupidest thing you can ever say. Like, he could screw up every single play until the last game, and then he would just come through at the end. I mean, Tim Tebow was phenomenal. But look, even if you can win, if you can't play the quarterback position, you can't be in the league. And Tim Tebow is not in the league anymore. Colin Kaepernick, look, Colin Kaepernick got a bad blow because of, because he was using his platform for means that other people didn't like when he was taking knees and stuff like that. But here's the thing. Colin Kaepernick had great stats. Colin Kaepernick was good around his team, but they didn't win a lot. I mean, you go back and you look, like that, they were not a great team around Colin Kaepernick. He was a good player. But he, when it came time to coming back in the league was evolving past him, which made it tougher for him to get back into the league. And I'm not saying that there wasn't some kind of conspiracy against him. I'm not saying that there was or there wasn't. I'm just saying that for what I saw from Colin Kaepernick, I wish he would have got another shot. But at the end of it, I don't think that, I don't think he would have thrived in the league to begin with, because I don't think that he was actually thriving in the league originally. He was good, but not great. And you know what I mean? So here's the deal. Upside potential for Caleb Williams in his first year is a Super Bowl appearance. Are the Bears ready for that? I don't think that they are, but that doesn't matter, because last year I told you they weren't ready for the Super Bowl either, and I was right about that. But the part that mattered was they were going to get better as the season progressed. Now, let me take you back a couple years to Philadelphia. Philadelphia didn't do exactly the same thing. It's not the best of comparisons, but it's the comparison that I'm using. So sit there and take your medicine. What happened with the Bears in this context is they improved as the year went on. There's a young team surrounding that's going to get better. And here's the thing. The more they play together, the better this team is going to get. The better this team will get. Now, with that being the case, it could be possible that all the pieces are in place so that the team continues to improve and get better as the season goes. If they do that, they're going to be in the Super Bowl. It's going to take a lot. It's going to be difficult, but they could be a Super Bowl. This is one of those wild card teams. Like, I'm not saying they're a Super Bowl team. I'm not saying they're a Super Bowl team. I'm saying they're a playoff team. But you never know what happens when you get into the playoffs. And I mean, look, you make a stand when you need to make a stand. You kick the field goal that you need to kick. You don't Cody Parkey it and double doink it. You don't do any of those things. You put yourself into the playoffs. Anything can happen. Look at Green Bay. I mean, Jesus Christ, Green Bay was about to win it all, right? I mean, like, they were 9-8. Caleb's 6'1", but yeah, close enough. I mean, I don't think that there's going to be as much of a problem, because here's the problem. Jack Burton, let me point this out. When you're 6'1", well, you know what? We're going to see the measurements. We're going to see the real measurements today, but the clock says he's 6'1". So we'll go with that until we see. But here's the thing. If Caleb Williams is 6'1", but can throw the ball from all of the different angles that he throws it from, then that removes some of the problem with being 6'4", 6'5". It's 3 inches. I mean, it does matter. It doesn't matter tremendously. Like, just don't get the ball swatted down. How many times did Justin Fields get his ball swatted down? And Justin Fields is 6'3". You know what I mean? How many times does Baker Mayfield not get his ball swatted down and he's 6 foot? You know what I mean? Like, it's really, there are some things fundamentally that I don't think that are going to be a problem. So, you know, we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine. And that's a fair assessment. We lost Fields because the Bears failed completely at developing him. They failed. Well, here's the other thing. Justin Fields failed to run that offense. I mean, that's, you know, there's two sides to it. Number one, Justin Fields failed to run the offense that was thrown out in front of him, and I'm going to make the argument, yes, that Luke Getsy was an idiot for not doing it more to his needs. I think that should have happened, but it wasn't. And, you know, I don't know that, I don't know that, I don't know anything would have been different. I don't know anything. We might have won more games. We might have, you know, I think there's a couple of games that I thought that we should have won no matter what. We should have been the playoff team already this year. We should have shocked the world this year after an 0-4 start. Should have been a 1-3 start at best, because we gave away one of the games, the Denver game. And then with just a couple more wins, guess what? The Green Bay Packers, they don't make the playoffs. We make the playoffs, and then we're the ones making the run to San Francisco. You know what I mean? So there were some certain possibilities that we had, you know. He had nobody to run it with. I don't know who we're talking about. If we're talking about Justin Fields, fuck that. Justin Fields had Khalil Herbert. Khalil Herbert was fantastic. Donta Foreman was also, they were averaging 4.5 yards a carry. If you're talking about Justin Fields, you are not thinking clearly. They were averaging 4.5 yards rushing. They were the number one rushing team in the league, and Fields had 600 yards rushing. So no. Yeah, the Tampa loss was on Fields. I mean, there were, matter of fact, there were plenty of losses to go around at that time. But that was 27. I think it was like 27-17. I'm just going for the ones where, you know, we were able to just kind of reach in there for the win, and we didn't. You know what I mean? So if we were within a touchdown, then I consider like we could have flipped that. Like, we definitely could have flipped Detroit. Definitely could have flipped Cleveland. Definitely should have not lost to Denver. Those 3 wins right there turned the Bears into a 10-7 team, and Green Bay does not go to the playoffs. You know what I mean? So, and yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Justin Fields was 2-9 against ranked opponents. I mean, not Justin Fields, but Caleb Williams was 2-9 against ranked opponents. However, this is a team game. Yes, he should win, but here's the thing. When he didn't get blown out against top 25 teams, first of all, it's a team game, so you need all your team coming together. If you look at the score of of Caleb Williams' games as a quarterback, he was losing 51-48. You know what I mean? Like, he's losing 47-37. You know, he's putting tons of points on the board. His defense is just not stopping anybody. You know what I mean? So, no. It's Justin's fault that the defense gave up a 14-point lead. No. As a matter of fact, it's not Justin's fault. It's Justin's fault that at 26-14, when they gave up a touchdown and they were up 26-21, Justin got the ball back and turned it over in 3 downs. In fact, I think one of them was an interception. Don't hold me to that. But I think that one of the 2 plays was an interception that led to an immediate score. They turned the ball over, and then they scored again, right, making it 28-26. And then he got the ball back again, and then he got his ass sacked on the first play. So he had opportunities to make plays like that. You have to. And you know what? That's fair. I'm not saying that it's not fair. You're ahead by a huge amount. you have an opportunity. But look, when is it? So here's the thing. When is it the player's responsibility to execute 2 running plays and just get the yardage that you need? When is it on the quarterback to make sure that he catches the other team off balance? When is it the responsibility of the quarterback? When is it the responsibility to make this actually work? I mean, the coach calls the plays. The players have to do a great job of executing. They didn't do a great job of executing. And then they're down 28-26. Now Justin's got, this is 2 possessions, right? Now Justin's got a chance to win. First drop back, what does he do? Front side rush coming into his face, not behind the back. Not so you should see the footstep. You're leaning back like this. You're looking down the field right here in your peripheral. You see a dude coming. How do you not avoid that guy? Like if he would have slid, maybe he could have gotten around and could have met, but he just like a deer in headlight was not even paying attention when he should have been paying attention. He got sacked. He fumbled the ball. And then I think it was Tevin Jenkins. Tevin Jenkins then kicked it out and they got a safety off of it. So, I mean, come on. He had opportunities. They had opportunities every single time. They just didn't execute. That's why he has a 53.4 rating in the 4th quarter. I think that if he was still here on the team, he would have a better rating going into this year. I think they would have recognized that. He would have worked hard on it. I am 100% sure that he would have been better served by it. I think Justin Fields could do whatever needed to be done over the long term, but he's not here, so it doesn't matter what I think. But I can look at it and I can see the problems. Yes, Darnell Wright, absolutely. I mean, he absolutely whiffed. If there was one play where we needed Darnell Wright to be the man, that was the play. But also, Darnell Wright is still a rookie. Darnell Wright is still a rookie doing like rookie shit. He's going to make mistakes. He's going to screw up from time to time. But, I mean, you got to, look, Justin Fields didn't have the answer for a lot of questions that he needed to have the answer for. That's really what it came down to. And at the end of it, you have to make a decision. Do I give $60 million to this guy who I'm still not convinced? That's $20 million a year for the next bunch of years. Or do I give this new guy $9.5 million for the next 4 years and to see where we go? And if we break even, then we broke even and it's cheaper and I can still continue to build the team. And if Caleb fails, then whoever comes in next will have a much better team because of all the steps that have been made. And that's all I can say. So anyway, guys, I'm getting out of here. Make sure you leave a comment on the video as we leave. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you so much for coming in and checking this out. Remember to bear down. And remember, if you want to, at 1:30 p.m. today, in just a few short hours, you're going to be able to watch Caleb Williams live at his pro day about 2 hours from now. So if you have an NFL Plus, go watch it. If not, then bear down. We'll talk to you again tomorrow, and we'll get you updated on what happened.